Satnam, I'm Sadaf Tar. Welcome to Venus Transmissions. Today we're going to talk about how to get a better boyfriend. And ultimately what that is how to be a high-value woman. 3 tips that we're going to go over today. And I invite you now to take a deep breath. Really feel your energy expand. Hold it. And then exhale. Connecting with your breath is so powerful. All the somatic healing tools are so powerful when we are working with changing our life, transforming our beliefs, upgrading, up-leveling. So how do we get a better boyfriend? How do we improve our relationships? What we often do is the opposite of what we really need to do. We go to try and grasp and put more tension and more energy in it when we really need to pull back. We pull back, we create that vacuum, and then we receive. But the way that we improve our relationships is by being high value. And we are high value when we choose to treat ourselves with that value first. When we are valuing ourselves and standing up for ourselves first. And that's what I mean by when you go in with that energy of neediness, or we might not even look at it neediness. It's like we're just trying. We're trying to fix something. We're trying to improve something. We're going in and giving it more energy and more energy and more energy. And often we just need to let go and surrender and accept. And magical things will happen. Being high value, 1, you really have to stand up for yourself. You need to value yourself first. You need to speak up, stand up for yourself when it is required. The caveat to this is, and it's nuanced because you should never think that you can't be angry. You know, anger is good. And sometimes getting angry with people is what happens. It's just what it is. And we repress it and we'll get triggered and our inner child will get triggered and we'll feel guilty and we'll feel shame for being angry. It's important that we embrace that. But a lot of the conversations we need to have when we are standing up for ourselves, especially in relationships and career, we got to be calm. We got to be as centered as we possibly can. As women, we have to bring in that power. Like I said, that our words can cut through energy like a knife. They leave energetic impressions, especially with the masculine. They're far, far more sensitive than we think, far more sensitive than we often realize. And I know that that's a hard thing, because especially when our inner child needs to express that anger and should express that anger. I recently had a couple situations that were intermingled with 2 different men, and I really approached each one differently because that's what my intuition told me to do. That's what I felt was the best. But at the root of it, we have to love ourselves, because guess what? We all get angry. We all have yelled. We've all messed up. There is nothing that anyone hasn't done to you that you somehow haven't done to yourself or someone else. By the way, let's break down that victim consciousness. Standing up for yourself. So just in a nutshell, this particular situation, I had a client, it was a marketing client, because when I really get excited about a project, I'll bring in a website and a marketing client. I've been doing it for many years. I went to art school. And that client agreed to all these things, but then didn't have the money. And there's undercurrents. There's a lot going on with this situation. I'm just focused on me. So I knew intuitively, okay, I'm just going to be chill, cool, and keep elevating the energy, and then, get what I need, and then walk away from this situation, because, we walk into situations sometimes and it's okay. We don't always know what they are. We don't always know every single thing that's going on. And that as we find out, we have to make decisions on how to change and redirect. Never try to not feel bad when you feel like you get like sideswiped by your like, wow, this is not what I expected with this situation. You just got to expect the unexpected a lot of the time now, and be able to roll with it. Another situation that was intertwined, I really responded with fire. I was angry, and I expressed that anger. And it wasn't about, it was about me and my needs and not feeling supported. I wasn't being supported. I completely walked away from that situation. This is a friend, a close friend. I chose myself, and I am willing to sacrifice the crumbs. I am willing to sacrifice a friendship when I am not getting what I need. And it's important. I appreciate all the positives of this friendship, but it crossed a line where it gets to such of the core of being a woman and feeling supported. I stepped away from that, and surrendering, letting go, standing up for myself, and then you walk back and you focus on you do you reorient. And the most magical thing happened. Another masculine energy swooped in, two actually, ended up speaking to this client. And some things shifted and got worked out. I allowed myself to receive. I stepped back, but I stood up for myself. A lot of times we're gaslighting ourselves. Thoughts become things, the belief that all of this, you've got to go to bed feeling 100% good. You have to push away your bad feelings. We are gaslighting ourselves in so many ways emotionally. And it's very tied into the spiritual path, a lot of spiritual paths. We can't do that anymore. It doesn't work. You have to embrace where you are, your anger. Your anger is actually one of the biggest clues as to where you need to stand up for yourself and say no. It's a huge, huge, huge gift. We've been trained to run from our emotions. I want you to run towards them, basically, and embrace them. Now, it may seem like I'm telling you contradictory things, because on one hand, I'm saying you got to be calm. And when you are trying to really shift the energy, you do have to be calm. Because like I say, men are very sensitive, and a woman is powerful when she's connected to her sacral chakra. When her voice is awakened, you can shrink a man with one word. Words have power, and you'll get the most by having honest, truthful communication that could be super, super hard, but the other person on the other end has to hear you, and they honestly can't hear you if you're screaming. But feel the anger. You can say that you're angry. You can express your anger. Love it, appreciate it. Step back, stand up for yourself, speak your truth. I see clients all the time. At the core of what is going on is that they cannot say how they feel. They cannot stand up for themselves. Never mind yelling it, they can't even say it at all. So the number one tip is to stand up for yourself. to be able to really honestly say what you value, and then goes into number 2, choosing wisely. Making those choices wisely and creating the boundaries. Walking away. You cannot be afraid to walk away. In fact, I got to tell you, I have walked away from so many things in the last couple of years, especially the last few months. It's so powerful. You can feel how powerful it is. You got to be able to sit in these triggers and embrace them. You know, if somebody's treating you, I had a friend of mine who has this really weird situation with a guy, and he's not treating her well. He's really not. And I don't know why she's just wasting her time, because at some point we reach that place where we're like, no, man, I just want peace. But that, dealing with this on and off, you know, she saw the man in public. He didn't say anything to her, and then he's texting her 2 days later asking to spend the holiday together. He could have his own fears. Who knows? But that's not going to shift until she says, this isn't what I want. And meanwhile, there might have been another man who was really good to her, but she wasn't prepared to embrace that. She thought it was too much. And subconsciously, it shut off something in her, right? That's really common. So we have to walk that fine line between knowing when we're really choosing wisely, and then we might be self-sabotaging because of subconscious behaviors. And you can get to that by, memory recall, just working with someone, getting that reflection, and slowing down. Being open and being able to communicate honestly, being able to sacrifice, being able to risk saying your truth, having the boundaries. Because the truth is, there's a whole entire world of infinite possibilities out there for you. And trust me, when you say no to something, something else will show up. Something better. It might take a while, but it will. And nobody can give you the value that you want, the peace, the love, the happiness that you want until you're giving it to yourself. Third tip to getting a better boyfriend and being high value, feeling high value, bringing in the highest and best is believing it. And I know it sounds cliche, but I'm not talking about you're just going to write this on a piece of paper and stick it on a Post-it note. Life and belief transformation and energy is a lot deeper than that. You are multidimensional. You're very powerful. Think of the block that you have to having something in your life that you want, that desire, because the desire is what we can create, what we have the possibility to create. That's why we have it. Think of the block that might be preventing you from doing it as an actual block of marble or stone. And you have to chip away at that stone to create that new belief. You have to chip away at the old beliefs, the old energetic frequencies to get to the new one. You're an artist. You're creating that. Sometimes it takes time. And with more practice, belief shifting, energy shifting, you get better at it and it gets faster. When you know the techniques, you can move into different energies more powerfully. If you have a thought in your head that's repeating itself, the yelling, that is your inner child. That is a belief. So why meditation really helps, because then you can start to hear them, all the layers, and then you can transform that. So you're chipping away at this block with somatic healing, deep breaths, actions that energetically make you feel like you're moving energy, that these actions choose you. It could be as simple as, let's say, last night I went out, right? I went to a place, was pretty empty, wasn't really feeling it. I left after about 5-10 minutes. As I was leaving, I saw a friend of mine. I went back in with him to talk to him. And then after about 20 minutes, I was like, nah, I want to go. So we went to another place, and we were only there for about 30 minutes, maybe 35 minutes. And it was midnight, and I said, you know what? I want to go home. I just want to go home. I want to be in my own energy. I want to have a cup of tea. This was fun. It was a bit like, we were moving from place to place. There was a voice that was kind of quiet in me, but I could still hear her. She was worried about what he would think, worried about what he would feel. But if I would just listen to her, hold her, and then bring up my energy, so you know what? What do I really want? What do I really want? This is what I really want. I'm going to go do it. And I'm letting go. I'm surrendering the need to cater to someone else's feelings, to care about, what this person thinks. I didn't go out with that person. I wasn't, I wanted to go home. So I chose what I wanted to do. Back to number one, actually, you have to choose. But those beliefs I could hear. So you have to know that you deserve the best and see what fear, frustration, worthlessness, hopelessness is blocking you from actually feeling deeply that you deserve it. Feeling it on the level where you can feel in your body. It's so important for us to feel every emotion and to not gaslight our emotions or force our emotions. The bad emotions are just as valuable as the good ones. In fact, they might even be more so, because they are telling you where your opportunity is, where your power is, and where that doorway is. I have a new session package, Soul Mastery Sessions, 3-session package, hour and a half each, of deeply getting into integration, Kundalini awakening, somatic healing, voice awakening, targeting the biggest beliefs that you feel are your blocks right now, and having beautiful sessions of opening the energy, but also sitting with those uncomfortable energies. I can sit with my clients. They can cry, they can scream, they can do whatever they need to do. I am ready to accept you if you are ready to accept yourself. I will hold that space for you if you are willing to just say yes and showing up. You can find it under the coaching tab, under venustransmissions.com and aquarianyogi.net. I'm having a Black Friday sale. All my courses are on sale until Monday or Tuesday of next week. It's $98 to get the Aquarian Yogi membership, which dozens of Kundalini Yoga classes, meditations from 10 minutes to classes that are an hour and a half. Even just doing 1 or 2 a week is going to help you get through the chaos and get through the chatter so that you can be more grounded and be more aware of the subtleties of your own energy.